Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, beautiful, beautiful individual, and my beautiful fellow human sibling. Today, I would like to talk about love in its true sense, divine love, is available as a perspective today. For us to be able to even understand love, we first needed to have, invited sensual love, blood tie love, tribal love, and love of one's country and folk soul and so on, to extend that to the earthly and to the global. It is available today to consciously choose love, despite all that is occurring around, and to truly try to, place and bring perspectives and understanding in general to the present occurring moment. By doing so, you are becoming present in here and now. When you become conscious in your being, in your body, breathing, grasping a hold of and wrestling back your astral, etheric, and physical with your ego. You need to be here consciously. That is when you are actively working upon and changing slowly but surely your astral body, your etheric body, and your physical body. When these three are purified in its true sense later, they will become manas, buddhi, and atman. They become kind of spiritual versions of the physical template, more or less. Template, if we are to call it that. You see, your astral body, which is reflected in the nervous system, just a reflection, by the way, is the astral, with your lymphic system also. That brings movement, it brings pains, it brings pleasure, it brings joy, it brings sorrows, dreams, and so on. Your etheric body, which is reflected in our glandular and also in our, watery body, just like astral is with air. Our etheric body is our life formative forces, which brings the human form as it is, which brings us having a kind of, this shape we have. It also is the reflection of our thinking. You see, our thinking, thought beings comes from the astral, but we drag it into our etheric body so we can perceive it within our physical body. So, based on what thoughts you invite in, is what you think and feel in the moment. Because, thinking definitely affects our emotions. So does our will impulses, but our will is more asleep than our feelings, which are more of a dreamy sensation, and our thoughts that are fully conscious. Of course, we are fully conscious of the shadowy images of the dead concepts. We need to blow life into these concepts to make it moving, mobile, flexible, alive again. And that is what you use your ego for. You sit in your being, choosing, let's say, a topic to study, and you sit conscious there and taking it in, listening, watching along with your thoughts. That is how you get to understand the perspectives of others, because you become that other in a moment. You don't lose yourself. You are still here, very much so. But you are also including others within. You see? You extend your perception so that you not only see your own ego and your own ego alone, but you are allowing another ego to be here with you, right? It is about holding space and holding to not have that, competition or the inadequacies and insecurities, but allowing for both to be equally human beings in the moment. We all have our inner demons, phantoms, or specters and ghosts. Those are just beings that, in the astral, etheric, and physical, are trying to, well, bring conflict. And as long as they are there, we are not free within our own inner being, because we allow ourselves to be grabbed by certain feelings and thoughts and will impulses now and then. If we feel compelled to do something, right? And your ego is followed by spirits. And that is the good one. Spirit, you know? Oh, they were so clever when they abolished spirit a long ago in the year AD 869, where the 8th Ecumenical Council of Constantinople just decided for themselves to remove the spirit from soul, body, and spirit. What happens when you remove the activity, the conscious activity of working in the world? You become passive. You become only body and soul and are compelled everywhere without having your own inner conscious ego within your being. Today it is about time we find again that threefold human being. Because threefold is what we are. Equilibrium, balance. And the more you work upon yourself, meditate, purifying your thoughts, purifying your emotions and your perception of the world and the understanding of the world, and seeing it objectively and taking in as much as possible, because remember, this earth life is only temporary. We will pass. We need to stop to forget that, because when you have that consciously, you know you only have so and so much time here, and to do the most out of it, to remove trivialities, not becoming intensely ascetic, and not utterly remove yourself and become purely frivolous either. It is that perfect, be enjoying being a human being, growing, loving to grow, loving to work, loving to be a human, but at the same time also know about all the pains, sufferings, struggles, karma that we have to go through to truly grow. Because pain that comes from karma and comes from the assimilation of lessons taken from it is the best manure you can ever have. So going through your past, going through any memories, any imprints of emotional feelings that is intense, that hasn't been worked through yet consciously, has to be gone through, because when you go through it consciously, you sit and allow them to work upon you, not damage you, because you are protected by divine beings, the love. You do it in love, and hence you are, let's say you have a thought of feeling sorry for yourself. Instead of grasping your ego, moving along with that thought and becoming that thought, you let that thought just come and consciously see it, but not allow yourself to be dragged by it. It's like you are the ego, and around that ego is your astral, etheric, physical. It is for us to separate that ego a little, so you are always conscious within those three other sheets. You see? So even if you felt the most pressing from outside, you are still conscious here and experience everything. How many times isn't it the case that something intense happens and we go into a certain kind of panic mode and just disappears? You know, you don't want to be there anymore. Now that is Lucifer wishing us to, he wants to drag us into ignorance, you know? Ahriman wants, and when that happens, Ahriman has full access to your thinking and feeling, you see? Because you are somewhere else. The equilibrium is consciousness. is staying conscious within our own inner being. And of course, it takes a long time, practice, dedication, hours upon hours upon hours. But once you have reached the stage where this is enjoyable, where this becomes, you can't live without it, literally, is when you have a win-win. I like to call it a win-win. Because you do the work and you love to do the work. Win-win. So when you sit conscious here, when you are conscious here, how many things doesn't want you to move, want you to, I feel like that, I feel like this, but conscious. The more you sit conscious in your being, the more you rest it back to yourself. And it is all about honesty and dedication here. And to stay strong to the practice. As we said, we have karma. This is a process. It is a constantly occurring process. Don't have the illusion that there are only a few spots in your life where you have major events occurring. Major events occurs right now within your being. Or you can allow that to happen to, well, become aware of the conscious spiritual world around you. You come into time, the feeling of time, instead of orienting yourself around by space. You know, the reason we know what time it is today, right, is because either we watch where the sun is, or we watch a clock with the two arms they have, and you see the arms move, and you orient yourself by time, by space. It's the space you orient yourself by. Coming into your conscious body brings you into time, duration. So when you sit, close your eyes, you only have a vague feeling of time, of what time it is, but it is a constant occurrence. And that is what we are to become conscious of. To, well, not miss out on life because we were waiting for a major event, is what I think I will leave with. So, become curious, wondrous, and don't believe anything anyone says about gaining knowledge, about studying, about accumulating experience, accumulating understanding, comprehension from your soul, spirit, because those are the ones that wish you to stay ignorant so that you are easy to be affected by forces you do not see, because they said that you cannot study these forces. It is important to know these forces, and it is up to you to choose if you are to do good with them or ill with them, right? That is the truth. We have freedom in it. What is your intention with the information? What is your intention with the practice? If your intention is to help mankind, uplift the world, master yourself, rest back your own being for the Christ, well, your job becomes enjoyable. Your inner work becomes enjoyable. If it is for other types of things like accumulating power to manipulate others, to be, you know what I mean here, that is when you're starting to gain a little more trouble with it, because then you have beings there with it that is not necessarily healthy. So the pure intention, hold intention steady, strong. Know that love is the way. Love with intelligence, love with strength, passive resistance to evil, perception of evil. And when I say evil, I mean backward spirits. Spirits that wish us to stagnate, to stay behind, to not move forward. That is what evil is. To keep our human, more or less, shackled and anchored within our present conditions, and to not let us come out of it through our own inner ability and powers. The Christ helps us free our own inner being to be able to work upon what can be worked upon. Yes, we have necessities, food, water, toilet, and shower and sleep and all of this. Necessities. Things that we cannot necessarily control within our being. But that is not the meaning of life, right? It is mastering our own inner being, our thinking, our feeling, and our will. That is where our freedom lies. So when you are not eating, sleeping, or drinking, what are you doing then? That is what I mean. And I will leave you with this today. I love you so much, you beautiful, beautiful initiate, you. You beautiful sibling of mine. You beautiful individual human being, you. May you be blessed, protected, guided, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, higher hierarchy, Michael, Urifiel, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation. Well, the whole cosmos really, the Godhead. And may you be safe. May you be beautiful. May you be kind. And may you have your heart open. Because, well, mastering yourself requires you to have an open heart. Unless you want to master yourself in only thoughts, your heart is necessary. Love you. Thank you. Goodbye.